is right down here. Right? Okay. Emergency release. I have the lights on now. It's kind of starting to get a little dark. And then if we're backing up, right, we're going to go ahead and turn that backup camera on. As soon as that's on, kind of a neat point on that camera is actually solar powered, and you can see the battery charge on it is really good. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and back up. We can kind of see what's around us. And another thing, spotters, very, very good habit to get into while you're driving the old Wandering Buffalo, because, well, for obvious reasons, you just can't see everything. And and you got these good mirrors. You got to look out for those trash cans. See that trash can that's right there? Mailbox. These are all things you really want to watch out for. All right. I'll point out on that backup camera, it kind of a cool deal on that is that monitor will automatically turn off at 3 minutes. It'll stay on for 3 minutes, and then it'll automatically turn off. You can just turn it right back on, and it's no problem to do that at all. All right, so we're going to kind of drive down the street here. Now, like I mentioned, the length is 31 feet long and it has a longer overhang off the back. And so when you're driving, and you want to consider that when you're making turns, because that can swing out. And if you made too sharp of a turn, and as you can see here, we're very congested. We've got youth baseball going on. Lots of people parked around here, and so this is a great way to see that you got to really watch out for that congestion, right? And you have to watch out for people that are going too fast, because you don't. The other thing is, everything with the RV is kind of a little bit, slower. You can't just drive it around like a car. It's just not how they're made. So caution. And the other thing too is, as you're kind of getting familiar with the feel, how it handles, it's always good just to kind of take it easy. There's, everybody knows that RVs drive slow, so there's no having to be all up, keeping up with all the traffic. If they need to get around you, they'll go on around you. Okay, so residential areas, of course, 25-mile-an-hour speed limit. And I will mention that the speed limit on the interstates in Montana are 75 and 80 miles an hour. The secondary roads are going to range from 65 to 70 miles an hour. The road driving, for instance, from here in the Bozeman area down to the west entrance of Yellowstone is going to be 65 and then 55. Okay, because you're driving down through the Gallatin Canyon, and you definitely want to be not running the Indy 500 down through there. Okay, fair amount of traffic and everything down there. So interstate, even though the interstate speed limit is higher, driving these at 65 miles an hour is a really, really good speed to travel in. It's going to be, that's what's going to provide you probably the best economy driving. It's going to give you the most buffer of safety, and that's paramount, right? Is that safety, right? So we're just kind of driving down the road here. You can tell it drives real smooth. Even when you get up to speed, you hear a little bit more wind noise because it is, once again, I mean, you got a lot of vehicle moving here. But you can see out really nice, right? Beautiful views here in Montana. And it's quiet enough. Obviously, you can talk to everybody, or you can listen to some music on the radio. So this is This is really all pretty nice. I'm going to come up here and we're going to turn around. But again, if you're at the gas station, for instance, as you're pulling away from the fuel islands, kind of be pulling straight out from there before you make any turns, so you're not going to run that risk of bumping into those fuel pumps, right? That would not be a good situation. And I can tell you, you'll look at the back of any kind of RV that's at any length, and you'll see those kind of telltale scrape marks where that's happened, where they've scraped on things. So definitely be careful of that. The same is true for being in areas where you're like in a turning lane or something like that. Definitely be like moving out into the intersection before you start really turning. You won't be really driving much in congested areas really, but that being said, you will run into areas in Yellowstone Park where there's the parking areas are very congested. So again, definitely kind of be careful. And with that being said, again, there's no shame in using a spotter. You do have that backup camera, super handy. Make sure and use those your side mirrors so you can kind of see what's going on. But definitely, I always when I'm driving our RV, I always try to park kind of away from everybody where it's not as much in the way of other vehicles parked there. And then another kind of pro tip over the years that we've been hosting through Outdoorsy is, get up a little earlier and hit the road to where you're going to be going and get that earlier parking spot. And once you get there, you can fire up the Jenny, cook your coffee, maybe cook up some brekkie, and get changed out of your PJs, and then you can kind of start your day from there. So that's a little bit of a Yellowstone pro tip for you, and makes it a little bit easier. So, and what I mean by easier is that it's not quite as crazy getting into some of those spots when at 10 o'clock in the morning when everybody's there, right? So, okay, well, so that's a little bit of a driving experience here. When we pick you up from the airport, I'll pick you up in the RV. We'll drive over to where we do the handoff, which is by our street where we live, which is just 5 minutes away from the airport, and we'll kind of do the walkthrough and everything in the handoff, and then we'll send you on your way for fun. All right, that's it for now. Thanks, guys. See you on the next video.